Okay, what is up? Hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm back out the way. Yeah, like I said, I hope you guys are doing well. For me, it's day 2 of fasting. It's quite interesting. Like, I'm not someone who normally has to get up that early. I think I get up at about 7ish, sometimes up at 6. I'll chill for a bit and then business hours. There we go. Get that out the way. Business hours start at 8, so I'm up at 8 and I'm ready to do what I need to do. So for this, I kind of have to get up at like 5:05. Probably warm up food, make food, depending on what I'm eating, and then yeah, I have a coffee, ironically, and because I go to sleep straight afterwards. Yeah, I'll literally do that, and then I'll have a nap, and then I'll wake back up and get going with my life. And yeah, in terms of yesterday, it was tough. Just like we trained and we had to do a 1 rep max, and it was a power clean and jerk, or not power clean, a clean and jerk. And usually, something I could say I'm okay at. I'm not going to say I'm great at it. I don't train often enough to be great at it, or I haven't in a while. So it's all about finding a platform right now. And literally every heavy rep I did, I got such a headache. Like I said, I sat and I was like, oh, like dizzy. My head was sore. You know when you like have to squint and you'll feel better. I don't know about you guys. That's how I get over it, and that's what happened with me. So yeah, it was a no. Yeah, it was good. I think for me, what I do is pray before I eat. So I wake up, pray before I eat. I eat. I just I have to ask God for guidance, wisdom, and protection as I continue throughout the day. And then we pray again before we eat again, and then we thank Him for everything that got us through the day, and then both times mention exactly why I'm fasting and ask Him for guidance, you know. So that's me for today. That's my little talk. Yeah, like I said, yesterday wasn't easy, but it definitely wasn't the hardest day. I think we see what happens. So today we've got Genesis, we've got 29, we've got 14 to 30. It's quite interesting because 14 starts, it's the last line of Jacob arrives at Paddan Aram, and then goes through the next story with Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. Damn, this guy had 2 girls. Hectic. And I'm showing the keep one. This is the life we live, man. Okay. So I'm gonna read. You let me know if you don't let me know, but read if you want to read. I'll read. If you want to hear me read. And let's take it from there. So Laban exclaimed, "You really are my own flesh and blood." Then Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. After Jacob had stayed with Laban for about a month, Laban said to him, "You shouldn't work for me without pay, just because we're relatives. Tell me how much your wages should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The older daughter was named Leah, and the younger one was Rachel. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes, but Rachel had a beautiful figure and a lovely face. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, "I'll work for you for 7 years if you give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife." "Agreed," Laban replied. "I'd rather give her to you than anyone else. Stay and work for me." So Jacob worked for 7 years to pay for Rachel, but his love for her was so strong that it seemed to him just a few days. Finally, the time came for him to marry her. "I have fulfilled my agreement," Jacob said to Laban. "Now give me my wife so I can sleep with her." So Laban invited everyone in the neighborhood and prepared a wedding feast. But that night, when it was dark, Laban took Leah to Jacob's room. Jacob and he slept with her. Laban had given Leah a servant, Zilpah, to be her maid. But when Jacob woke up in the morning, it was Leah. What have you done to me? Jacob raged at Laban. I worked 7 years for Rachel. Why have you tricked me? It's not our custom here to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn, Laban said. But wait until the bridal week is over, then we'll give you Rachel too, provided you promise to work another 7 years for me. So Jacob agreed to work 7 more years. A week after Jacob had married Leah, Laban gave him Rachel too. Laban gave Rachel a servant, Biliah, to be her maid. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her much more than Leah. He stayed and worked for Laban an additional 7 years. It's such a weird... like, you know, when you just have to read things again just to be like, did I read that right? Or am I on the right track here in my thought processes? I just don't get it, man. This is like it's old. It's old. This is ancient times, man, and that's why these things were there, or these things happened. But I don't know. Just reading it with the new age mindset, you're kind of like, what is going on here, man? Like, just because we are relatives, you don't have to work for free. Like, dude, no relative would ever be a servant to me. Like, there's my first issue. I know there's other issues that we need to unpack here, because first thing you marry, your intent of marrying is more sleeping with someone than marrying them. And let's be honest, that's probably a more now age mindset than it was back then. But okay, so you wanted to sleep with her, and then you did it to the sister, and then how is the sister supposed to feel for 7 years minimum, because you probably stayed with them both? How is she supposed to feel knowing that you are actively working to get her sister? Like, it's not a thing of like, oh no, he's doing it in the background, or he's not like exactly where he should be, or like you can see he likes her but he's not acting on it. It's a literal thing where it's like, I didn't want you, I want your sister, so I'm working. 7 years, oh gosh. We'll be back. Okay, so we're back. Yeah, so there's a lot of weird things, obviously, in marriage. Being involved with any sort of relative is it's not recommended at all. Okay, so literally not recommended at all. But that's why we say these times are very different. That's what you need to keep in mind when going through all this stuff. It's just, there's a lot of things here that in time might have been ethical, and as time grew on, we learned it wasn't. Just nowhere near a perfect world when these things are written. But I don't know, you just see stronger characters than what you would see in today's time, I'd say. Or just not documented, if that's the right way to say it. So let's go over the messages and we take it from there. So, it was the custom of the day to marry, for a man to present a bride price, a substantial gift to the family who his future wife. This was to compensate the family for the loss of the girl. Jacob's bride was not a material possession, for he had none to offer. Instead, he agreed to work 7 years for Laban. But there was another custom of the land that Laban didn't tell Jacob. The older daughter had to be married first. By giving Jacob Leah and not Rachel, Laban tricked him into promising another 7 years of hard work. So that's just what we discussed it yesterday, was just deceitfulness and how it creates problems more than it solves them. I don't know if God promised Jacob Leah or Rachel, but yeah, that's the deceit that we see in today's time. It's quite interesting that, I mean, for Jacob, working 14 years for somebody. Like, sure, I'm not gonna say who he married was right, but I know people, the majority of people in today's time, if you haven't given something up in a matter of months, a matter of weeks in some cases, a big portion of who you want to be with shrivels dramatically, and that's just to do an action. Now imagine working for somebody and not getting anything, but just working for 14 years. It's a lot of your life for somebody. Yeah, I guess when you sit back and think of it like that, I just think, yo, that must be love. I mean, for us, love it requires different things than what it did back then. I think for now, yeah, it's just, that is what it is. Then it says, people often wonder if working a long time for something they desire is worth it. Jacob worked 7 years to marry Rachel. After being tricked, he agreed to work 7 more years for her. The most important goals and desires are worth working for and waiting for. Movies and TV shows have created the illusion that people have to wait only about an hour to solve problems or get away with what they want. Don't be trapped into thinking the same is true in real life. Patience is hardest when we need it the most, but it is the key to achieving our goals. And I think that's probably, for me, I think that paragraph, I've done this lesson before long ago. That paragraph on its own, it has such a different meaning right now. I mean, for when I did this, just for some context, it was I was leaving my job, and for me, the patience was that I'm going to leave the job, and I have to just be patient, just work on my business, and eventually something's gonna come that will allow me to sustain myself. And that was the mindset with this. And sure enough, I just break even now, but that's perfect for where I'm right now. We look at now that patience goes into another area of my life, which is my relationship. It has been it's been a rough start for, not a rough start, but a rough time for just the better part of a month. And yeah, right now there's patience until Friday, and we see what happens. And I think patience even extends past that day. It is, regardless of what happens, it is a thing of where are you going, where's your desires leading you, how are you going to handle yourself afterwards, how do you handle yourself going forward. And yeah, patience it's a very important thing, and I think a lot of us need to learn it. I'm not going to say I'm perfect with it, but I have definitely learned a lot of patience in the last year or so. People come to me very often because of certain things, and they'll be like, dude, credit to you, because like I couldn't wait, or like you can see that there's certain things that you bite your tongue on because you know it's not the right thing to do right now. And you know, that's what I've learned. It's just, if like for me, if it's meant to happen, it will eventually happen. It's not a thing of I'm going to do nothing to make it happen. That's where people get misconstrued, is that if it's meant to be, it will just happen. No, you still got to work, you still got to put effort in, you still got so many other boxes you got to tick. The only time that comes into play is once those boxes are ticked. Did it come for you? Did it not come for you? Did you get what you were seeking? Did you not get what you were seeking? Once that happens, then you can sit and go, okay, well then it was not meant to be. It's not a thing of I can just sit and go, yeah, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I mean, we had this discussion, when did we have it? I think it was just before my birthday, where that whole week I sat and I was like, I'm going to get an episode out of a day, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And everything went wrong in every single episode. I shot 3 episodes over 3 days, couldn't upload either on any of the days. all of them had to be dumped the day before my birthday, and then also following the day after. And eventually I was just like, on the Wednesday I was just like, I'm not going to upload, I'm not going to record, I'm not going to redo these things because I'm just tired. And if it was meant to go up, everything would have worked out, but it didn't. That's where the laziness came in. That's where you sit and you manipulate yourself into doing what your own desires are. I sat and I played games instead. Very simple. It's such a small thing, but for me it had bigger consequences. It's a thing of you've sacrificed doing this, something you've committed to to just do what you do all the time anyway. It's not good. So then we go into the next part. Jacob was enraged when he learned that Laban had tricked him. The deceiver had now been deceived himself. How natural is it for us to become upset at injustice to us while closing our eyes to the injustices we do to others? Sin is a way of coming back to haunt us. And I've been thinking about this for a while. This particular message. Because of my situation, I just sat and I was like, maybe this is things are just coming full circle, you know? Maybe it's because I did wrong when I was in the last relationship, and it needed to come back to me to understand what I've done. And I was dreading that could be a case, but I also can't say that I wasn't going to say it. It's unfair. It is definitely fair. So we'll see. That hurts a lot. I don't know for you guys, but it's that age-old karma saying what comes around goes around. But yeah, I also think it makes you a bit more careful on how you treat others. Then, although Jacob had been tricked by Laban, he kept his part of the bargain. There was more at stake than just Jacob's hurt. There was Rachel to think about, as well as God's plan for his life. When we are tricked by others, it is still to be wise to be faithful to our word. Nursing our wounds or plotting revenge makes us unable to see from God's perspective. And that's key. Like I said, and like I keep saying, is the way you treat others is a reflection on you more than it is on what others have done to you. And I've said this to so many people, like even people are like what's it? Why don't you handle it this way, or why don't you just do this or do that? And I'm like, no, because I know that if it was done to me, I'd be very upset. So why would I ever do it to somebody else? And yeah, that was my lesson when I did what I did in my last relationship. It was although I knew I did wrong, I wasn't really following anything. I was doing my own life thing. But once I did what I did, I just sat and I was like, I would never like that to happen to me. And that's why I ended up calling things there, just because, yeah, I don't know, I could never look at me the same. Could never trust you the way that I would normally. So yeah, always think about that. What you do to others will do what you would have done to you. Because as I said, yeah, like you said, deceitfulness and all these negative things do find a way to come and get you back. So yeah, I'm praying that I've learned my lesson, please, and just be nice. So yeah, that's our lessons for today. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any theories, let me know. If you are dealing with anything, let me know. Like I always say, I'm not a registered pastor. I'm not someone who knows everything. I don't have every answer. I'm literally you seeing me go through this in my own time, in my own space. Hopefully it matches somewhere where you are in your life, and there's somewhere you can relate and chime in just like as I would rather make the mistake than you, I'd hope that some of you would rather make the mistake and let me know going forward. But yeah, have a good day.